The last thing Commander Ziyech expected to see when the storm broke through Earth's atmosphere was a massive banner that read, "Welcome to the end of your invasion." For decades, the Thean Empire had been the dominant force in the galaxy, subjugating weaker species and integrating their resources into the Empire's ever-growing hunger for expansion. The Galactic Council had long warned humanity that their days of independence were numbered. Yet, humanity had remained defiant, rejecting integration with an audacity that bordered on madness. Commander Ziyech had been tasked with leading the invasion force, a fleet of ships so vast it blotted out the stars as it approached Earth. The Theans expected a swift and brutal victory, much like every other conquest. But from the moment they breached the atmosphere, something felt off. The unexpected resistance. Ziyech's thoughts were interrupted by the sudden appearance of an enormous sleek vessel rising from Earth's surface, dwarfing the Thean warships in size and sophistication. Its hull shimmered with a technology unfamiliar even to the seasoned commander. "Sir, we're detecting an energy buildup in that ship," reported Lieutenant Saul, his eyes glued to the readings. "It's like nothing we've ever seen before." Before Ziyech could respond, a voice boomed through their communication systems, clear and taunting. "This is Admiral Hayes of the Terran Defense Force. You've chosen the wrong planet to invade." Hayes's voice had a chilling calmness to it, a stark contrast to the usual pleas or threats the Thians were accustomed to hearing. Ziyech felt an unfamiliar sensation creeping through his veins. Doubt. "Admiral Hayes," Ziyech replied, attempting to regain control of the situation. "Surrender now, and we will show mercy to your people. Resist and face annihilation." Hayes's laughter echoed through the bridge. "You misunderstand, Commander. We are not here to negotiate. We've been preparing for this day. Welcome to Earth, the place where your conquest ends." The battle commences. With that, the Terran vessel unleashed a beam of energy that sliced through the lead Thean battleship, splitting it in two. The bridge exploded into chaos as alarms blared and emergency protocols activated. "Return fire," Ziyech shouted. But even as he gave the order, he knew it was futile. The human ship moved with a grace and precision that defied everything they knew about space warfare. The Thean fleet retaliated, their powerful plasma cannons lighting up the darkness of space, yet the Terran ship danced through the barrage, its shields absorbing the impact with ease. More human ships began to rise from the planet's surface, each one more advanced than the last. "Commander, we need to regroup," Saul shouted, his voice barely audible over the din. Ziyech clenched his mandibles. Retreat had never been an option in their conquest, but this was different. This was a fight they were not prepared for. "All ships, fall back to the rendezvous point. We need to reassess our strategy." Regroup and reassess. As the Thean fleet began its hasty retreat, the humans did not pursue. Instead, they hovered in formation, a silent testament to their newfound power. Back on the Thean flagship, Ziyech paced the command deck, his mind racing. How did we underestimate them so drastically? He muttered to himself. "Sir, it appears they've been advancing their technology in secret," Saul replied, still analyzing the data. "Our intelligence reports were outdated. This level of technological development is unprecedented." Ziyech's eyes narrowed. "Prepare a message to the Emperor. We need reinforcements. This isn't just a battle anymore. It's a war for survival." But even as he gave the order, a nagging doubt lingered in his mind. What if reinforcements wouldn't be enough? What if humanity had truly become the dominant force in the galaxy, a force that even the mighty Thean Empire could not overcome? Earth's new defense. On the surface of Earth, Admiral Hayes watched the retreating Thean fleet with a satisfied smile. "They'll be back," he said to Captain Rohr, his second in command. "And when they do, we'll be ready." Rohr nodded. "They won't know what hit them. The new energy weapons work better than we anticipated." "That they did," Hayes replied. "But we can't get complacent. This was just the first wave. They'll return with more ships, more firepower. We need to be ready to show them that Earth is not just a planet to be conquered, it's a fortress. As Hayes turned to leave the command center, he paused, looking at the image of the Thean fleet on the screen. They thought they could take us by surprise. They thought we were weak. Today, they learned just how wrong they were. The room fell silent as Hayes walked out, the weight of the coming war heavy on his shoulders. The Thians had started this conflict, but it would be humanity that finished it. Earth was prepared to fight, and they would not stop until the Thean Empire learned the true cost of underestimating humanity. The day the humans answered would be remembered as the turning point in a war that would reshape the galaxy, and for the first time in history, it was humanity who held the upper hand. The Thean counterattack. The Thean reinforcements arrived within a week, a vast armada that filled the sensors of every human ship with a relentless stream of data. Admiral Hayes stood on the bridge of the TDF Resolute, the flagship of the Terran Defense Force, as his crew analyzed the incoming fleet, preparing for battle. Commander Ziek's message must have been convincing, Captain Rohr remarked, watching the screens. That's a lot of ships. Hayes nodded, his expression serious. They won't underestimate us again. This time, they'll throw everything they have at us. The Thean fleet moved into formation, preparing for a full-scale assault. Hayes turned to his communications officer. Send a message to all ships. We hold the line here. No one retreats. This is our home, and we will defend it. The response was immediate, a chorus of acknowledgments from the Terran fleet. Each captain, each crew member knew the stakes. This was not just about Earth. It was about humanity's place in the galaxy. The Thean assault begins. Commander Ziek stood on the bridge of the Thean flagship, the Imperator, studying the Terran formations. The humans had positioned themselves strategically, taking advantage of the planetary defenses and their advanced technology. They've set up a strong perimeter, Saul observed. Breaking through will be costly. Ziek's mandibles clicked in frustration. Costly or not, we have no choice. The Emperor demands victory. Prepare the fleet for a full-scale assault. As the Thean ships advanced, the space between them and the human fleet erupted with the fury of battle. Plasma bolts and energy beams crisscrossed the void, lighting up the darkness with deadly precision. The humans fought with a tenacity that surprised even Ziek. Unleashing the drones. On the Resolute, Hayes watched the Thean assault unfold. Deploy the drones, he ordered. Let's see how they handle our newest toys. From the hangars of the Terran ships, swarms of combat drones poured out, each one equipped with cutting-edge weaponry and autonomous AI. They darted through the battlefield, targeting Thean ships with ruthless efficiency. Drone strikes are effective, sir, reported Lieutenant Kaminsky, monitoring the battle from his station. We're inflicting significant damage on their smaller vessels. Hayes nodded. Good. Keep the pressure on. We need to break their momentum. The Theans adapt. On the Imperator, Ziek was beginning to realize the true extent of humanity's advancements. Their drones are wreaking havoc on our lines, Saul reported. We need to adapt quickly. Ziek issued rapid orders to his fleet, directing them to focus their fire on the swarms of drones. As the Thean ships adjusted their tactics, the drones began to take losses, but the cost in Thean ships was high. The humans have anticipated our every move, Ziek said, frustration creeping into his voice. How had they come this far so fast? We underestimated them, Saul replied. And now we're paying the price. Ziek knew his lieutenant was right. This was no longer just a battle. It was a test of wills, a contest to see who could outlast the other. And the humans were proving to be formidable opponents. Earth watches the battle. Back on Earth, the battle was being watched by billions. Every screen, every broadcast showed the unfolding conflict. In bunkers and command centers across the globe, military leaders coordinated their defenses, ready to support the fleet above. In one such bunker, General Marcus Steele reviewed the latest reports. The Thians are throwing everything they have at us, he said, looking at the assembled officers. But our fleet is holding. Hayes and his men are doing their job. But for how long? One officer asked. Their numbers are overwhelming. Steele's gaze was steely. As long as it takes. We've come too far to lose now. Turning the tide. As the battle raged on, the tide began to turn. The human ships, though outnumbered, were holding their ground with a ferocity that stunned the Theans. The Terran fleet's superior tactics and technology were making a difference. Sir, we've breached their second line of defense, Kaminsky reported, his voice filled with excitement. We're pushing them back. Hayes allowed himself a brief smile. Good. Keep the pressure on. We need to break their spirit. The Thean retreat. On the Imperator, Ziek watched in disbelief as his ships began to fall back. This cannot be, he muttered. How are they doing this? Sol, for once, had no answer. The Thians had always been the superior force, the conquerors. Yet here they were, being bested by a species they had once deemed insignificant. The battle dragged on, hours turning into a relentless grind of attrition. Both sides suffered heavy losses, but the human resolve remained unbroken. Hayes knew that victory was within their grasp, but it would come at a cost. Admiral, we have reports of critical damage on several ships, Rohr said, his voice tense. We can't keep this up forever. Hayes nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. Order the damaged ships to fall back to secondary positions. We'll cover them. We can't afford to lose any more. The Terran fleet adjusted, allowing their most damaged vessels to retreat while the remaining ships held the line. The Thians, sensing weakness, pressed their attack, but the humans were ready. Admiral, the Thean are concentrating their fire on the Resolute, Kaminsky warned. They're trying to take us out. Hayes' eyes narrowed. Let them come. Prepare for close quarters combat. A desperate struggle. As the Thean ships closed in, the Resolute unleashed a barrage of firepower, its advanced weapon systems cutting through the enemy ranks. The ship shook with the impact of enemy fire, but Hayes remained calm, directing the battle with a steady hand. We're not going down without a fight, he said quietly, his determination unwavering. On the Imperator, Ziek knew that the battle was slipping away. The humans were proving to be an indomitable force, their spirit unbroken even in the face of overwhelming odds. Commander, we need to withdraw, Sol urged. We can't sustain these losses. Ziek's mandibles clenched in frustration. To retreat was to admit defeat, something the Thean Empire had never done. But as he looked at the data, he knew Sol was right. Order the retreat, he said reluctantly. We'll regroup and come back stronger. Victory for humanity. As the Thean fleet began to pull back, the humans did not pursue. They held their ground, watching as the invaders fled. On the Resolute, Hayes allowed himself a moment of relief. We did it, Rohr said, his voice filled with awe. We actually did it. Hayes nodded. This battle is ours, but the war is far from over. They'll be back, and when they come, we need to be ready. As the remnants of the Thean fleet disappeared into the void, the human ships began to regroup, tending to their wounded and assessing the damage. The battle had been hard fought, but humanity had proven its strength. Celebrations on Earth. On Earth, celebrations erupted as the news spread. The invincible Thean Empire had been dealt a significant blow. Humanity had answered the call and emerged victorious. But in the back of every mind was the understanding that this was only the beginning. The real war was yet to come, and humanity would need every ounce of its strength and ingenuity to prevail. Admiral Hayes looked out at the stars, his mind already planning for the next encounter. The Thians would return, but this time, humanity would be even more prepared. This was their world, their home, and they would defend it to the last. The day the humans answered had set the stage for a conflict that would define the future of the galaxy. And humanity, against all odds, was ready to fight. Strengthening the defenses. The months that followed the initial battle saw humanity preparing for the inevitable return of the Thean Empire. The Terran Defense Force, TDF, expanded its fleet, integrating lessons learned from the first engagement. Scientists and engineers worked around the clock, developing even more advanced technologies and weapons. Earth had united as never before, the threat of annihilation forging a bond stronger than any in history. The new flagship. Admiral Hayes stood on the bridge of the newly commissioned TDF Resolute Aya, its sleek, angular design a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. Beside him, Captain Rohr monitored the latest intelligence reports. Scouts have detected significant Thean activity near the edge of the system, Rohr said. It looks like they're assembling for another push. Hayes nodded. They're desperate. We dealt them a heavy blow, but they won't stop until they've either conquered us or been utterly defeated. This time, humanity was ready. The fleet had been reinforced with new ships, each one equipped with the latest in human and reverse-engineered Thean technology. The Terran Defense Network, a series of orbital defense platforms and ground-based missile silos, was fully operational, ready to unleash a torrent of firepower on any invader. Preparing the defenses. On Earth, preparations were in full swing. General Marcus Steele oversaw the fortification of key locations, ensuring that every possible entry point was covered. In underground bunkers, military leaders coordinated their efforts, ready to support the fleet above. We need to be ready for anything, Steele said during a briefing. The Thians will come back with everything they've got. Our job is to make sure they don't get past us. Engineers worked tirelessly to upgrade the planetary defenses. Massive railguns, energy shields, and advanced missile systems were installed, creating a formidable barrier against any attack. The calm before the storm. As the Thean fleet approached, a tense calm settled over Earth. Civilians were evacuated to safe zones, and everyone prepared for the coming battle. On the TDF Resolute Aya, the crew made final checks and adjustments, readying themselves for the fight ahead. All ships, this is Admiral Hayes, he announced over the fleet-wide comm channel. The Thians are back, and this time they're going all in. Remember what we're fighting for. This is our home, our future. We stand, we fight, and we will win. The battle begins. The Thean ships surged forward, and the battle commenced with a ferocity that dwarfed the first engagement. The Resolute Aya's weaponry blazed, tearing through the enemy ranks with deadly precision. Swarms of combat drones darted through the chaos, targeting key Thean vessels. Sir, the orbital platforms are engaging, Rohr reported. We're holding them off, but they brought more ships than we anticipated. Hayes watched the tactical display, the grim dance of red and blue symbols representing ships and their movements. Maintain formation. We need to keep them from breaking through to the planet. Fierce resistance. As the battle intensified, it became clear that both sides were taking heavy losses. The Thians, driven by a mix of desperation and fury, fought with a determination that matched humanity's own. Yet for every human ship that fell, 2 Thean vessels were destroyed. Admiral, we've got incoming boarding parties, Kaminsky shouted. They're targeting our command ships. Hayes's eyes narrowed. Repel all boarders. They want to take this ship. They'll have to do it over my dead body. On the lower decks of the Resolute Aya, Thean soldiers poured through breaches, engaging in brutal close-quarters combat with human Marines. The fighting was fierce, but the Marines held their ground, pushing the invaders back with sheer determination and tactical prowess. Turning the tide. In space, the battle raged on. The human fleet, despite being outnumbered, continued to inflict devastating losses on the Theans. The orbital defense platforms fired relentless salvos, their advanced targeting systems picking off Thean ships with deadly accuracy. Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the Thean flagship, Rohr said, his tone incredulous. It's Commander Ziek. Patch him through, Hayes ordered. Ziek's image appeared on the screen, his expression one of barely controlled rage. Admiral Hayes, your resistance is futile. Surrender now, and I will ensure your people are treated with mercy. Hayes stared at the Thean commander, his voice cold and resolute. We've heard that line before, Ziek. The answer is the same. No surrender. This is our home, and we will defend it to the last. The final push. Ziek's eyes narrowed. So be it. You will witness the full wrath of the Thean Empire. The transmission cut off, and the Thean ships redoubled their efforts, launching wave after wave of attacks. But humanity held firm. The Terran Defense Network, combined with the fleet's advanced weaponry and tactics, began to turn the tide. Admiral, the Thians are breaking off. They're retreating, Kaminsky exclaimed. Hayes watched as the Thean fleet, now a fraction of its original size, began to pull back. We've done it, he said softly. We've won. A hard-earned victory. As the Thean remnants fled into the void, humanity celebrated a hard-earned victory. The losses had been great, but the spirit of Earth remained unbroken. In the weeks that followed, efforts shifted to rebuilding and fortifying their defenses, ensuring that no future threat would ever catch them off guard. In a grand ceremony held at United Earth Command, Admiral Hayes addressed the assembled leaders and citizens of the planet. Today, we stand victorious not just because of our technology or our tactics, but because of our unyielding resolve. The Thians thought they could conquer us, but they underestimated the strength of the human spirit. We have shown the galaxy that we will not bow, we will not break, and we will never surrender. The crowd erupted in applause, a thunderous roar of unity and triumph. The day the humans answered had become a symbol of hope and resilience, a testament to what could be achieved when humanity stood together. Looking to the future, as Hayes looked out over the cheering masses, he knew that this victory was just the beginning. The galaxy had learned to respect and fear the strength of Earth, and humanity's place among the stars was now assured. But the war was far from over. The Thians would return, and when they did, humanity would be ready. The day the humans answered had set the stage for a conflict that would define the future of the galaxy, and humanity, against all odds, was ready to fight. The Thean Empire strikes back. The months of relative peace were short-lived. The Thean Empire, reeling from its defeat, mobilized all its resources for a massive counter-offensive. Spies, intelligence reports, and intercepted communications all pointed to an imminent and overwhelming attack on Earth. The gathering storm. Admiral Hayes stood in the command center of United Earth Command, surrounded by holographic displays showing the latest intelligence. The Thean fleet was assembling, and their numbers were staggering. This would be their most formidable assault yet. Admiral, our scouts report that the Thean fleet is on the move, Captain Rohr informed him. They're bringing everything they have. Hayes nodded grimly. Prepare all defenses. We knew this day would come. We need to be ready for anything. Fortifying Earth. Across Earth and its orbital stations, preparations intensified. Engineers reinforced defensive structures, while scientists worked on enhancing existing technologies and developing new weapons. The Terran Defense Network was brought to full operational capacity, its layers of defenses designed to withstand the heaviest of assaults. General Marcus Steele coordinated ground defenses, ensuring that every city, installation, and strategic point was fortified. Anti-aircraft batteries, missile silos, and shield generators were positioned to create an impenetrable shield around the planet. We'll turn Earth into a fortress, Steele declared. The Thians won't get through us. The Thean approach. As the Thean fleet approached, tension mounted. The skies above Earth darkened with the massive silhouettes of Thean dreadnoughts, battleships, and fighter swarms. The sheer scale of the invasion force was awe-inspiring, dwarfing the earlier battles. In the control room of the TDF Resolute Aya, Hayes watched the tactical displays. All ships, this is Admiral Hayes. The Thians are here. Remember what we're fighting for. This is our home, our families, our future. Stand firm, and show them what humanity is made of. The battle begins. The Thean fleet surged forward, and the battle erupted with unprecedented ferocity. Plasma bolts, energy beams, and missile trails crisscrossed the void, turning space into a deadly light show. The Terran Defense Network responded with a barrage of firepower, its orbital platforms unleashing destructive salvos. "Orbital defenses are holding," Roar reported, "but they're targeting our platforms with precision strikes." Hayes remained focused. "Deploy drone swarms and reinforce the platforms. We can't let them break through." Desperate measures. On the ground, General Steele's forces faced wave after wave of Thean ground troops, dropped from orbiting ships. The fighting was intense, with human soldiers holding the line against the relentless onslaught. "Hold the line," Steele shouted over the roar of battle. "Don't let them breach our defenses." In the skies, Thean fighters clashed with human aerial units, the air filled with the sounds of dogfights and explosions. Despite the overwhelming numbers, humanity's resolve did not waver. A turning point. On the Resolute Aya, Hayes noticed a pattern in the Thean assault. "They're concentrating their forces on a single point," he observed. "They're trying to create a breach. We need to counteract that." "Agreed," Roar replied. "I'll dispatch reinforcements to that sector." As the human ships repositioned to counter the Thean strategy, a critical moment approached. The Thians had managed to create a small breach in the defense line, and their ships were pouring through. The final stand. "All units, focus fire on the breach," Hayes commanded. "We can't let them get through." The combined firepower of the human fleet and the Terran Defense Network converged on the breach. The air was thick with the energy of destruction as human ships fought with desperate tenacity. In the midst of the chaos, a new figure emerged on the battlefield. A colossal human warship, the TDF Valor, equipped with experimental weaponry and the latest in defense technology, joined the fray. "Valor, this is Hayes. Focus your fire on the lead Thean ships. We need to close that breach," Hayes ordered. The Valor's weapon systems came to life, unleashing devastating beams of energy that sliced through the Thean ranks. The breach began to close, the Thean ships falling back under the relentless human assault. A moment of hope. As the tide turned, a moment of hope filled the air. The Thean forces, now facing overwhelming resistance, began to falter. Human ships pushed forward, reclaiming lost ground and driving the Theans back. "We're doing it," Roar said, a note of disbelief in his voice. "We're pushing them back." Hayes allowed himself a brief smile. "Keep up the pressure. We can't give them any room to regroup." The Thean retreat. On the Thean flagship, Commander Ziek watched in frustration as his forces began to retreat. "We underestimated them again," he muttered. "This is not over." "Sir, our losses are too great. We need to withdraw," Saul urged. Ziek clenched his mandibles. "Order the retreat. We'll regroup and return stronger." As the Thean fleet pulled back, the human forces held their ground, watching as the invaders fled. The battle had been won, but the cost was high. Ships lay in ruins, and the toll on both sides was immense. Victory and resolve. On Earth, celebrations mixed with solemn remembrance. Humanity had faced the full might of the Thean Empire and emerged victorious. But the price had been steep. Families mourned lost loved ones, and cities began the long process of rebuilding. In a broadcast to the planet, Admiral Hayes addressed the people of Earth. "Today, we have proven that humanity is stronger than any threat. We have stood together and defended our home. But this victory is just the beginning. The Thians will return, and we must be ready. We will rebuild, we will grow stronger, and we will never forget the sacrifices made for our freedom." A new dawn. As the sun rose over a battered yet defiant Earth, there was a sense of unity and determination. The Thean Empire had struck back, but humanity had stood firm. The war was far from over, but the future belonged to those who would fight for it. Admiral Hayes looked out over the horizon, his mind already planning for the next battle. The Thians would return, but so would humanity's resolve. This was their home, and they would defend it with everything they had. The Galactic Council's intervention. The ferocity of the battles between Earth and the Thean Empire had not gone unnoticed by the rest of the galaxy. The Galactic Council, a governing body representing various advanced civilizations, convened an emergency session to address the escalating conflict. A call for peace. Representatives from dozens of species gathered in the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council. Holographic displays and translators ensured that every word was understood by all. The Council's leader, Chancellor Velorn, called the session to order. "We have witnessed a conflict of unprecedented scale," Chancellor Velorn began. "The Thean Empire's aggression and humanity's determined defense have caused widespread concern. It is time for the Council to intervene and seek a resolution." Earth's perspective. Admiral Hayes was invited to address the Council, representing humanity's interests. His image appeared before the Assembly, his expression resolute. "Members of the Council, we did not seek this conflict," Hayes stated. "The Thean Empire invaded our home, and we were forced to defend ourselves. We seek only to live in peace and security." Chancellor Velorn nodded. "We understand your position, Admiral Hayes, but the scale of this war threatens the stability of the entire galaxy. We must find a way to end it." The Thean stance. Commander Ziek, representing the Thean Empire, appeared next. His tone was defiant. "The Thean Empire has always sought to expand and integrate other civilizations. Humanity's resistance is an affront to our goals. We will not back down." The Council members murmured among themselves, weighing the arguments from both sides. A proposal for peace. Chancellor Velorn raised his hand for silence. "It is clear that both sides have suffered greatly. Therefore, the Council proposes a ceasefire and the establishment of a neutral zone. This zone will be monitored by a combined force from Council member species to ensure peace is maintained." Hayes considered the proposal. "We are open to a ceasefire, but we must ensure our sovereignty is respected. The Thians cannot be allowed to threaten us again." Ziek's mandibles clicked in frustration. "The Thean Empire does not accept defeat lightly. However, we will agree to the ceasefire, provided our expansion is not hindered elsewhere." Negotiations begin. The negotiations were tense and intricate. Representatives from both sides, along with Council mediators, worked tirelessly to draft the terms of the ceasefire. The process was fraught with challenges, but progress was made. After several days, a preliminary agreement was reached. A neutral zone would be established, encompassing strategic points of conflict. Both sides would withdraw their forces, and a Council-led peacekeeping force would be deployed to maintain order. The ceasefire. The announcement of the ceasefire was met with a mix of relief and skepticism. On Earth, people hoped for a lasting peace but remained cautious. The Thean Empire's forces began to withdraw, and the Terran Defense Force prepared to stand down from their heightened alert status. Admiral Hayes addressed the people of Earth. "This ceasefire is a step toward peace, but we must remain vigilant. We will continue to strengthen our defenses and work with the Galactic Council to ensure our security." A new era of diplomacy. The establishment of the neutral zone brought a new era of diplomacy. Regular meetings between Earth and Thean representatives were held under the watchful eyes of the Galactic Council. Trust was slow to build, but small steps were made. Dr. Elena Marquez, a prominent scientist and diplomat, played a key role in these talks. She advocated for scientific cooperation and cultural exchange as means to bridge the gap between the two civilizations. "Understanding each other is the first step toward lasting peace," Dr. Marquez stated during one session. "We must find common ground and learn from one another." Joint initiatives. In the spirit of cooperation, joint initiatives were launched. Earth and the Thean Empire began to collaborate on projects that could benefit both civilizations. One such project focused on medical research, combining human ingenuity with Thean technology to develop advanced treatments for various diseases. Another initiative aimed at environmental preservation, leveraging Thean knowledge of ecosystem management to address Earth's environmental challenges. These projects fostered a sense of shared purpose and mutual benefit. Challenges and setbacks. Despite the progress, challenges and setbacks were inevitable. Incidents of mistrust and misunderstanding occasionally flared up, threatening to derail a fragile peace. Both sides had to navigate a delicate balance between cooperation and caution. In one such incident, a Thean scout ship inadvertently entered restricted Earth space, causing alarm and tension. Quick diplomatic intervention and communication prevented the situation from escalating. A glimmer of hope. As time passed, the joint initiatives began to yield positive results. Scientific breakthroughs, technological advancements, and cultural exchanges created a foundation for a more stable relationship. The combined efforts of humanity and the Thean Empire demonstrated that cooperation could overcome even the deepest divisions. Admiral Hayes and Commander Ziek, once fierce adversaries, found themselves working together in the interests of their people. Their grudging respect for each other grew as they navigated the complexities of peace. Looking to the future, the ceasefire, though fragile, held. Humanity and the Thean Empire continued to work towards a more peaceful coexistence. The Galactic Council's intervention had provided a framework for dialogue and collaboration, offering a path forward that did not rely on conflict. As the sun set over a united Earth, there was a sense of cautious optimism. The war had left scars, but it had also opened the door to new possibilities. The future was uncertain, but humanity was ready to face it with hope and determination. Admiral Hayes looked out at the horizon, reflecting on the journey. We have faced incredible challenges and emerged stronger. The path to peace is long and difficult, but it is a journey worth taking. Together, we will build a better future for all. Rebuilding and renewal. With the ceasefire in place and the Galactic Council's peacekeeping force monitoring the neutral zone, both Earth and the Thean Empire began the long process of rebuilding. The scars of war were visible everywhere, but there was a renewed sense of purpose and hope. Restoring Earth. On Earth, efforts to rebuild were in full swing. Cities that had been damaged or destroyed during the battles were being reconstructed with improved infrastructure and technology. The Terran Defense Force worked closely with civilian authorities to ensure that the new defenses were seamlessly integrated into the urban landscape. General Marcus Steele oversaw the reconstruction efforts. "We need to build stronger, smarter," he said during a press conference. "Our cities will not only be more resilient, but also more sustainable. This is an opportunity to advance and innovate." Technological advancements. The collaboration with the Thean Empire led to significant technological advancements. Earth scientists and engineers worked alongside Thean counterparts to develop new materials, energy sources, and medical technologies. These innovations not only helped in the rebuilding efforts, but also improved the quality of life for people on both sides. Dr. Elena Marquez led a team focused on medical research. "We've combined our knowledge to create treatments that can heal injuries faster and combat diseases more effectively," she explained. "This is just the beginning of what we can achieve together." Economic recovery. Economic recovery was a priority for both Earth and the Thean Empire. Trade routes were reestablished, and new agreements were made to ensure the flow of goods and resources. The joint initiatives created jobs and stimulated growth, helping to stabilize economies that had been severely impacted by the war. In a historic meeting, Earth and Thean leaders signed a trade agreement that symbolized their commitment to cooperation. "This agreement marks a new chapter in our relationship," said Admiral Hayes. "Together, we will build a prosperous future." Cultural exchange. Cultural exchange programs flourished, promoting understanding and unity. Schools and universities on Earth and Thean worlds hosted exchange students, fostering friendships and mutual respect. Art, music, and literature from both civilizations were shared, enriching each other's cultures. A major cultural festival was organized, where people from Earth and the Thean Empire showcased their traditions and achievements. The event was a resounding success, highlighting the beauty of diversity and the strength of unity. Environmental initiatives. Environmental conservation was another area of focus. The war had taken a toll on Earth's ecosystems, and the Thean Empire's knowledge of ecosystem management proved invaluable. Joint projects aimed at restoring damaged habitats and combating climate change were launched. In the Amazon rainforest, a team of Earth and Thean scientists worked to replant trees and restore biodiversity. "We have a responsibility to heal our planet," said Dr. Marquez. "With the Theans' expertise, we can accelerate the process and create a healthier environment for future generations." Strengthening defenses. While peace efforts were ongoing, both Earth and the Thean Empire continued to strengthen their defenses. The Terran Defense Network was upgraded with the latest technologies, ensuring that Earth would be ready for any future threats. Admiral Hayes and Commander Ziek collaborated on joint military exercises, sharing strategies and tactics to improve their capabilities. "We must remain vigilant," Hayes emphasized. "Our cooperation in defense is crucial to maintaining peace." A symbol of unity. The Unity Research Station, a symbol of the collaboration between Earth and the Thean Empire, was completed and fully operational. The station served as a hub for scientific research, cultural exchange, and diplomatic meetings. It stood as a testament to what could be achieved when different species worked together. At the inauguration ceremony, Admiral Hayes and Commander Ziek stood side by side, addressing the gathered dignitaries and scientists. "The Unity Research Station represents our shared commitment to knowledge and peace," Hayes declared. "Together, we will explore the stars and unlock the mysteries of the universe." Challenges ahead. Despite the progress, challenges remained. Incidents of mistrust and conflict occasionally arose, threatening to undermine the fragile peace. Both sides had to navigate these difficulties with diplomacy and patience. In one such incident, a Thean exploration vessel was suspected of spying on Earth's defense installations. Quick action by diplomats and joint investigations resolved the situation, preventing it from escalating. A bright future. As the years passed, the foundation of peace and cooperation grew stronger. The joint initiatives bore fruit, leading to scientific breakthroughs, technological advancements, and cultural enrichment. The relationship between Earth and the Thean Empire, once defined by conflict, had transformed into a partnership based on mutual respect and shared goals. Admiral Hayes reflected on the journey. "We have come a long way from the days of war and distrust. Our efforts to rebuild and renew have shown that peace is possible, even between former enemies. The future is bright, and together, we will continue to strive for a better world." Celebrating unity. In a grand celebration marking the anniversary of the ceasefire, leaders from Earth and the Thean Empire reaffirmed their commitment to peace and cooperation. The event was broadcast across the galaxy, showcasing the power of unity and the promise of a shared future. As the celebrations continued, there was a sense of optimism and hope. The journey had been difficult, but the rewards were immense. Humanity and the Thean Empire had proven that even the deepest divides could be bridged through understanding and collaboration. Looking ahead, with the foundation of peace firmly established, Earth and the Thean Empire looked to the future with confidence. The challenges of tomorrow would be met with the strength of unity and the spirit of cooperation. Together, they would explore new frontiers, solve complex problems, and build a galaxy where all species could thrive. Admiral Hayes looked out at the stars, knowing that the journey was far from over. But with the Thean Empire as allies, the future was full of possibilities. "We have faced the darkness and found the light," he thought. "Together, we will illuminate the path forward." The new frontier. The foundation of peace between Earth and the Thean Empire had ushered in an era of unprecedented exploration and discovery. The Unity Research Station, a symbol of their collaboration, became the launchpad for a new age of galactic exploration. With the combined resources and knowledge of both civilizations, they were ready to embark on missions that would take them to the farthest reaches of the galaxy. The inaugural mission. The first major mission from the Unity Research Station was the exploration of the Andromeda Nebula, a region rich in uncharted star systems and potential resources. The mission was led by Captain Mark Harris of Earth and Commander Thalix of the Thean Empire. Their ship, the Unity Voyager, was a state-of-the-art vessel equipped with the latest in human and Thean technology. "Prepare for departure," Captain Harris announced, standing on the bridge of the Unity Voyager. "Our journey to the Andromeda Nebula begins now." The ship's engines roared to life, and within moments, the Unity Voyager jumped into hyperspace, leaving the familiar stars of the Milky Way behind. Exploring the unknown. The Unity Voyager emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Andromeda Nebula, greeted by a breathtaking view of swirling gases and vibrant stars. The crew, a mix of humans and Theans, began their exploration with a sense of awe and excitement. "We are the first to set foot in this part of the galaxy," Commander Thalix said, his eyes reflecting the nebulous colors. "Let us make history together." The crew conducted detailed surveys of the nebula, discovering new planets, asteroid belts, and potential signs of life. They collected samples, mapped gravitational anomalies, and analyzed the nebula's unique properties. A new discovery. During their exploration, the Unity Voyager detected an unusual energy signature emanating from a nearby planet. Intrigued, Captain Harris and Commander Thalix decided to investigate further. As they approached the planet, they discovered ancient ruins, remnants of a once advanced civilization. The architecture was unlike anything they had seen before, with intricate designs and unknown materials. Dr. Elena Marquez, who had joined the mission as the chief scientist, was excited by the find. "This could be one of the most significant discoveries of our time," she exclaimed. "We need to study these ruins and uncover their secrets." Unraveling the past. The crew landed on the planet and began exploring the ruins. They found advanced technology, ancient artifacts, and cryptic inscriptions. Dr. Marquez and her team worked tirelessly to decode the inscriptions, revealing a story of a civilization that had thrived and then mysteriously vanished. "This civilization may have had knowledge that surpasses our own," Dr. Marquez explained. "Understanding their history and technology could unlock new possibilities for us." Building alliances. While exploring the ruins, the Unity Voyager encountered a previously unknown species, the Valorians. The Valorians were wary but intrigued by the visitors from Earth and the Thean Empire. Through careful diplomacy, Captain Harris and Commander Thalix established communication and began to build a relationship based on mutual respect and curiosity. "We come in peace and seek knowledge," Captain Harris assured the Valorian leader. "Let us learn from each other and grow together." The Valorians shared their knowledge of the Andromeda Nebula, revealing hidden dangers and valuable resources. In return, the Unity Voyager crew shared their own technological advancements and scientific expertise, strengthening the alliance. The newfound alliance with the Valorians proved beneficial for all parties. Joint missions were launched to explore deeper into the nebula, and new trade routes were established. The collaboration led to technological innovations and cultural exchanges that enriched both civilizations. Commander Thalix reflected on the journey. "This is what the future should be, different species working together, exploring the unknown, and building a better galaxy for all." Returning home. After months of exploration and discovery, the Unity Voyager returned to the Unity Research Station, laden with new knowledge, artifacts, and data. The mission was hailed as a resounding success, showcasing the potential of cooperation between Earth and the Thean Empire. A grand celebration was held at the Unity Research Station, attended by dignitaries, scientists, and citizens from both civilizations. Admiral Hayes and Commander Ziek addressed the gathering, highlighting the achievements and the promise of future endeavors. "This mission has shown us that there are no limits to what we can achieve together," Admiral Hayes said. "The galaxy is vast and full of mysteries, and together we will uncover them all." A vision for the future. The success of the Unity Voyager's mission inspired a new wave of exploration and innovation. Plans were made for further missions, each one aimed at deepening the understanding of the galaxy and forging new alliances. Dr. Marquez, reflecting on the journey, said, "We have only scratched the surface of what is possible. There are countless worlds to explore, civilizations to meet, and knowledge to gain. The future is bright, and we are ready to embrace it." A unified galaxy. The collaboration between Earth and the Thean Empire became a model for other civilizations. The principles of mutual respect, shared knowledge, and cooperation transcended borders and inspired countless other partnerships across the galaxy. The Unity Research Station continued to serve as a hub for scientific research, cultural exchange, and diplomatic meetings. It stood as a beacon of hope and progress, lighting the way for future generations. As the Unity Voyager prepared for its next mission, Captain Harris looked out at the stars, filled with a sense of purpose and optimism. "We've come a long way," he thought, "and there's so much more to discover. Together, we'll make the galaxy a better place for all."